Delsing spent 25 years on the PGA Tour and is a lifetime member of the PGA Tour and PGA of America. Now he provides his unique perspective as a golfer and network broadcaster. It's time to go on the range with Jay Delsing.
On the Range is brought to you by Vehicle Assurance.
Hey, good morning. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. I got Pearlie with me. Pearlie, good morning. What's happening?
Nothing, man. Putter in hand, ready to roll today, baby.
Yeah, you're all fired up, Well, we formatted the show like a round of golf, and the first segment is called the On the Range segment, and it's brought to you by the folks at Vehicle Assurance. 1-866-341-9255. If you need some coverage, if you need some warranties, if you need anything for your car, they have it. They're great folks. Call them at 1-866-341-9255. Check out our social media outlets. Pearlie takes care of those. He'll let you know about those. Just call him on his personal cell. He'll take care of those for you.
All under control.
Okay, cool. So we don't need to go over that. And then I also wanted to thank Bob and Kathy Donahue at Donahue Painting and Refinishing. Man, their business is really been just off the charts with the COVID nightmare. People have been staying home. They've been fixing up their homes, and these guys do an excellent job. Call them at 314-805-2132. All right, Pearl. Fun show. I've got a local, really good friend of mine, the CEO of St. Louis Bank, Travis Liebig, is our interview for today. Banker, loves the game of golf, uses the game of golf to help grow his business, and just an overall good guy. But we've got a bunch of other fun stuff to talk about. Let's just jump in. Stuart Sink, three-peat. How amazing is that? We had him on the show, a month and a half ago or so?
That must be why he's playing so well. I knew there was a secret sauce someplace.
Well, somebody sent me something on social media, Pearl, and I said it has to be the Jay Delsing Golf with Jay Delsing boost. And all I was thinking about is, damn, I'm glad it wasn't the curse.
Yeah, let's go with the positive as long as we can go with it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's amazing. I was so anxious to ask you, where does that come from? I mean, obviously, he's been a great player from a long time. He was a wonderful amateur player. He was a great college player. He did really well on tour. I wouldn't call him a world beater, but obviously very, very good. And then all of a sudden, gets later in the career, not much going on, and then all of a sudden, he just wiped the field last week.
John, 2 wins. How do you open at Harbor Town at 63-63? I mean, he's got his son caddying for him. But how about this, Pearl? 47 years old and Ryder Cup possibilities, 47 years old, back in the top 50 world golf rankings, and not winning, decisively winning, and twice in a year.
Well, Ryder Cup possibilities or lock? I mean,
well, he's not a lock because they've changed the formatting, Pearl. So remember, Coach Stricker is going to get 4 at-large picks, or maybe 6. Whatever it is, it's changed because of the COVID years and things like that. So it's changed, but he's right in the middle of it, no doubt.
And, Jay, you've played that course many times. There's plenty of ways to lose your nerve a little bit and not get it around out there. You don't have to make a whole lot of mistakes to not get it around, and he was awesome. He just kept going.
Pearl, the first time I played that golf course, walked over from the range, and I was playing with Pater. I don't know, I was 23 years old. I looked at the first hole, and then I looked over at Steve, and I go, do they all look like this? And he goes, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, oh, dear God, what am I going to do? It was so narrow. Oh, man. I never hit drivers.
If the ball runs out just a little bit and you didn't plan for it, you end up hitting some funky punch roll thing that could bounce anywhere. He was amazing how he just – and every shot wasn't perfect off the tee. Just the way he kept his composure, played it around, really played the game. It was just really impressive. And, yeah, you mentioned he was having a blast with his son. I'll tell you, what a family affair and what a joy that had to be for that family.
I can't even relate, and all the challenges that Lisa's faced with the breast cancer and everything. It was just fantastic. What about the rule? I got to get your opinion on this. How about the rule snafu, Matt Kuchar and Siwoo Kim with a ball sitting on the lip, sitting on the lip, and Kuchar says to him, man, you can't hit this. The ball is literally moving, and they're watching it kind of wiggle back and forth, and then it finally falls in, and they take it away from him, saying, you waited too long. You had to hit that shot within 10 seconds.
So that's what I didn't understand. I thought if it's moving, that it counts. Now, are they just saying, guys, it couldn't have really been moving that whole time, or it would have gone in because it had nowhere to go? But you and I have seen putts on the edge where it's just trickling. Tiger almost had that type of thing at Augusta several years ago, where it's just kind of sitting there, but it's got a slight move forward to it. Yeah, just another one of the rules where I'm like, come on, guys.
The only thing, Pearl, is that from a pragmatic standpoint with the TV and everything, how long do you let those guys wait? How long? Because you can sit there and go. And the other thing is, John, if it's truly moving and it's only got to go 1/16 of an inch, and it takes a minute, I don't know. You know what?
I agree. That's hard. Then guys are casting a shadow over it. Then there's a bunch of different things going on. Yeah, it's just hard though. I've had it before, Jay, where I've hit a second shot that I'm like, wow, that's got to be close. The other guy hits a shot. You walk up. The other guy might be chipping to the green. You walk up, and all of a sudden you're on the green, and this is minutes later, and the thing falls in.
Right.
So. I don't know. Does that mean it wasn't moving? Does that mean it came to a complete standstill and then moved? I don't think that's possible either, is it?
No. I think what's happened is that I guess it is possible that something could have caused it to move, but we could talk about this forever. This is just it's crazy. I think, unfortunately, because I've had this happen to me, and I was pissed that I didn't get to count it. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And but I think it's probably the right. You're going to have to make some sort of time limit on this thing and stick to it, even though it sucks.
Tour guys don't like to lose a shot, even any shot anywhere ever. You guys fight so hard for them that those are tough calls. Yeah,
it really is. Okay, how about Lydia Ko? She's been a fan. I'm working hard to try to get the Cordes, Lydia Ko, Lexi Thompson, any sort of combination of those guys on the show, because we just need some representation from the LPGA Tour. But how about 23 years old? She wins for the 16th time, over 3 years or so since her last win. And what an unbelievable fight for someone who is world number one, earliest, regardless of the gender, for someone to hit world number one in golf at 17 years of age. And to see her win again with the struggles, the Ledbetter stuff, all that crap, it's great to see her do it. Let me toss in a tip of the cap segment real quickly. It's brought to you by the Dean team of Kirkwood, 314-966-0303. Colin and Brandy out there are terrific. They took care of Pearlie when he bought himself a new Toyota truck, and they helped me with my car. I bought a used VW for Joe. My tip of the cap is to all of the major sports leagues, NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, for managing to push through the crazy times we've been feeling through COVID. Look at this. Somehow, our society is so connected to the world of sports. Just giving us some sort of something to plug into is really important. And I got to tell you, Pearl, I think you agree with me here. The PGA Tour led the way on this thing. We lost a few weeks, but not very many. And my hat's off to Jay Monahan and the PGA Tour as well.
I'm okay with kudos for all sports on the COVID. I agree with you, but we got to give triple kudos, like you just said, to golf. They went way out of their way to lead the way. Individual players stepped up. The commissioner stepped up. I'm so proud of the game of golf through that and the different organizations. Huge win across the board.
And the tip of the cap was brought to you by Dean Team of Kirkwood, 314-966-0303. Call Colin today. That's going to wrap up the front nine. Don't go anywhere. That's going to wrap up the On the Range segment. The front nine comes after. Do we usually go to the range first, Pearl, or do we go to the front nine and then go to the range?
Depending how that first round went.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the 19th hole because that could come anytime. No, so here's what we'll do. We'll wrap up the on-range segment. We'll come back with the front nine. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
That's the plan.
Hello, friends. This is Jim Nance, and you are listening to Golf with my friend Jay Delsing.
Are you looking for a great career? Do you like meeting nice people, working with your hands, and fixing things inside the home? Marcone Appliance Parts Company would like to encourage you to consider a high-paying career in major appliances repair and service. Major appliance service technicians are in very high demand. Major appliance techs work regular hours and make excellent money. They work local, in their own communities, and are home every night. It is an incredibly stable industry and highly rewarding work. Discover more about your new career in major appliance services today by contacting a local appliance service company in your hometown. In Southern Illinois, contact Jeff Klein at Mount Vernon TV and Appliance Center. The phone number is 618-242-1579. Marcone Appliance Parts Company is based in St. Louis, Missouri, and is the largest distributor of major appliance parts in North America and proud distributor of General Electric parts.
I am delighted to welcome Marie Davila to the Golf with Jay Delsing show. I'm sure you know where it is, but in case you don't, Marie Davila is a landmark out in West St. Louis County. It's located on the corner of Clayton and Weidman Roads. It's also on 21 beautiful rolling acres right on the way out to Queenie Park. It's a country club-like atmosphere. It's iconic, and it's absolutely gorgeous. When my dad died and my mom decided she didn't want to live alone, Marie Davila was the first place we called. When we pulled up, we were greeted at the front door by the owner, and he took us around on a tour of the facility. We learned that there are 1, 2, and 3 bedroom villas that you can live in, and there's also 24-hour care in the East, West, and the Waterford buildings. So Marie Davila had everything that my mom wanted. One of the things that stood out in my mind as well was the way the family-owned business treats their guests. That's right, they refer to them as guests, but they treat them like family. So if you're in the process of trying to make a tough decision for this next part of life, you got to visit Marie Davila. This is local, this is family, and this is St. Louis. This is Marie Davila. Come be our guest.
When things come out of left field, having a game plan makes all the difference. Luckily, Farmers Insurance has been helping people cover their bases for more than 90 years, and they can help you too. Talk to Farmers Agent Ed Fogelbach today to see if you have the coverage you want for whatever curveballs may come your way. Call 314-398-0101. That's Ed Fogelbach at 314-398-0101.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Many of us have experienced back pain that interrupts our daily life and activities. Having been a patient at SSM Health Physical Therapy and seeing the one-on-one care, I highly recommend them. Their experienced staff using the latest techniques returns patients back to the things they enjoy, whether it's on the golf course, planting flowers in the garden, or whatever it is that you enjoy. Let my friends at SSM Health Physical Therapy get you out of pain and back into your life. 80 locations in the St. Louis area to serve you. 800-518-1626. You can call them or reach them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Your therapy, our passion.
Grab your clubs. We're headed to the front nine on Golf with Jay Delsing.
The Front Nine is brought to you by the Ascension Charity Classic.
Welcome back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. I'm your host, Jay. I got Pearlie with me. Brad Barnes is taking great care of us here at the ESPN studios, and we're headed to the front nine, brought to you by the Ascension Charity Classic. John, we had our conference call this week, Ascension Charity Classic, and the city of St. Louis is stepping up, as you would imagine. Just terrific. This September, 6th through 12th, we're going to have a great field. It's going to be a great show. Can't wait.
What was the best part of the meeting, Jake? Can you share any details that came of that, or kind of confirmations of anything?
You know what it is, John, is just this. You know, we had to shut down last year, so we didn't get a tournament. We were trying to help, get the community to understand what's available, how they can participate, X, Y, and Z, and then we shut it down, and everybody was just kind of like blah, And then the winter comes. And most of our conversations were just not happening. And now that the weather's changed, man, it is popping. There is a lot going on. And the Ascension people just continue to amaze. They're incredible corporate citizens. They're great community people, and they're throwing this great party. We can't wait. Jack Nicklaus is going to be on board. And that's going to take me into my next point, John. Jack Nicklaus has agreed to donate his personal services and his design company services to come to North St. Louis County and redesign Normandy Golf Club.
Wow. Where's that coming from? What sparked that idea?
Tom O'Toole Jr., who used to be he was a past president of USGA, released a kind of a press statement earlier last week stating such, and I just couldn't believe it. It was just, this golf facility is really run down, and it has been teetering back and forth on whether it's going to make it, whether we can raise enough money to get it going. And to Tom O'Toole's credit and the Beyond Housing CEO, they've come together. They got Jack Nicklaus on board, and now the thing's going to rock. They're going to raise money to purchase a contract from UMSL, which is University of Missouri St. Louis, that owns it right now, and it's going to have a completely different life form.
So is it going to be a little bit like that Atlanta Georgia project? Where the tour plays their championship?
Oh, you're talking about East Lake Village, East Lake, and I don't believe it'll make it to that scale. But the general idea with a golf course is there's room there, and Jack's going to redo it, reroute it, and then raise money for some maintenance and some new buildings, and it's because it needs everything.
Awesome.
It is really.
That's awesome.
It was just kind of a shot out of nowhere that, when I saw it, it was just a great thing to see.
Well, it'll help the community besides that, whether it's a monster project or not. It sounds like just a fantastic thing. Mr. Nicklaus has obviously always been stepping up, but lately it seems like he's even doubling down on some things.
I'll say, and I'll tell you, he's got to step up his game to try to keep up with his wife, who's just an absolute superstar as well. These guys are building children's hospitals with the money they're raising. They're just it's impressive. And then Jack's going to be here in the July-August timeframe because there's going to be a luncheon associated with the Ascension Charity Classic. And then he's also going to play a 9-hole exhibition on tournament Saturday afternoon after the last group passes through the 10th hole. About 30 minutes after that, Jack and Tom Watson and Ozzie Smith and maybe one other goat will join them, and that's really, really cool.
There's not many goats in the world, and he's definitely one of them. That's exciting.
Yeah, it really is exciting. All right, so John, let's talk a little bit about the Cordes sisters. All right, Jessica and Nellie, they're bringing something special to a tour, in my opinion, is already trending in a really, really good way. Kind of a tough blow for the LPGA to lose Commissioner Juan, who's now going to come over and run the USGA, so they're probably in a search as we speak to replace him. But I really love what the LPGA is doing, and the way the Cordes sisters are playing, and they're relatively new to the tour just the last couple of years. The word that keeps coming to mind when I watch them play is elegant. And, they're stud athletes. Their mom and dad were both professional tennis players at a world-class level. And they're doing some unbelievable stuff in the game.
Well, their brother is also becoming a world-class tennis player. So the athletics are there. And as you and I would agree, there's a lot of similarities between a strong tennis stroke, if you will, and a strong golf swing. I agree with the elegance, but also, Jay, just the form and the on plane. When you watch that Nelly Cordes is the one I guess I get to see a little bit more playing, and just the power. It's awesome. It's awesome. And I read a long article that they had on them in an interview, they are really competitive.
Oh, you think?
It's you can tell when they walk the, they're very professional, but you can tell when they just even walk the fairways during the tournament. They're focused in there, and they talk a lot about the mind game. They talk about staying away from perfect, all the things that we talked about. I'm trying to remember the one article. Perfect in sports just don't get together, just don't go together. Is one of their kind of statements. And so it's about just improving, getting out there, and getting your head in the game. It was fun to listen to and read the article.
Yeah, they've obviously taken on golf at kind of a different sort of level than most, and it's interesting when those two have been paired together and watch the internal, not internal, but the familial grit that they have for one another, and the competitiveness where they not only do they want to beat the field, but they want to beat each other pretty badly.
Well, it's interesting because they talked about that as well, and yes, they definitely have that, but they've really agreed that the way to play the game, and you've heard this before, is and they talk about it. We play against the golf course, and that's absolutely the way to go on so many levels. That's the way to go. And that's another one of their taglines, although they said that, and then apparently they started laughing because they're like, oh, yeah, and we also want to beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, exactly. I've been following them closely and trying to work to make a connection with them and have been unsuccessful so far, but reached out to my buddy Julie Inkster, and I think she's going to help me because she's captained those guys on a Solheim Cup team before, and said just gushes about what sort of human beings they are as well.
Well, they might be a little intimidated to come on the Golf with Jay Delsing show. So, give them some time. Give them some time to let that sink in a little bit before you assume what might be going on there.
Yeah. We're pretty intimidating, aren't we? Yeah, we're going to be like, how many wins have you guys had? We're not sure. All right, Pearl. That's going to wrap up the front nine, but don't go anywhere. We are going to come back with a Travis Liebig interview. He is the CEO of St. Louis Bank. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
Hey, everybody, it's Vince Gill. You're listening to Golf with Jay Delsing.
If you have a car and you're struggling to get some protection for that car, let me recommend Vehicle Assurance. 1-866-341-9255 is their number. They have been in business for over 10 years and have a 30-day money-back guarantee, which is one of the reasons why they have over 1 million satisfied customers. They are known for their painless claims process and their premium vehicle protection. So whatever that car looks like, they can help you. You can find them at vehicleassurance.com or call them again at 866-341-9255 for a free quote. Get the protection and the peace of mind you deserve.
Don't miss the hottest rookie class in PGA Tour Champions history. Stars like Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, and more compete at Norwood Hills Country Club September 6th through the 12th. Join legends Jack Nicklaus, Tom Watson, and Hale Irwin to celebrate the PGA Tour Champions' newest event. Professional golf returning to St. Louis in 2021. The Ascension Charity Classic presented by Emerson. Tickets, clubhouse passes, hospitality suites, Pro-Am foursomes on sale now. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com.
I am with my buddy Joe Sheezer from USA Mortgage.
Hi, Jay. How are you?
Doing great, Joe. Thanks so much for the support of the show.
I really appreciate the opportunity. Congratulations. This is your third year, and we're really proud to be a sponsor all 3 years since the very beginning. It's a great show, and we look forward to it every Sunday morning.
Well, thanks a bunch. Tell us just a little bit about USA Mortgage and what you can do for people.
Well, USA Mortgage is a ESOP. It's an employee-owned company. So over 1,000 families here in St. Louis work for the company. So if you want an opportunity to patronize a local company, please call USA Mortgage 314-628-2015, and I'll be more than happy to sit down with you, go over your options, discuss all the different programs that are available, and give you an opportunity to support a local company.
That's awesome, Joe. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it, Jay. Thank you.
You've seen it and played it in bars over the past 30 years, and now you can bring Golden Tee to your home. Complete your basement or man cave with the popular arcade game, The Ultimate Virtual Golfing Experience. Over 80 courses, unique game modes, and you can even challenge a buddy in online tournaments. However you play, you will be the talk of your neighborhood. Visit home.goldentee.com to learn more.
We're halfway there. It's time for the Back Nine on Golf with Jay Delsing.
The Back Nine is brought to you by Fogelbach Agency with Farmers Insurance.
Hey, welcome back. Golf with Jay Delsing here. I'm your host, Jay. I got Pearlie with me, and we're headed to the Back Nine. It's brought to you by the Fogelbach Agency with Farmers Insurance. You have any sort of insurance need, personal, for your company, your employees, anything, call Ed Fogelbach, 314-398-0101. He will take care of you. All right. We are going to my interview with the CEO of St. Louis Bank, Mr. Travis Liebig.
Arnold Palmer is the Masters champion of 1960.
There it is, a win for the ages.
Oh, Jack. That was a great putt. Bill Jack finishing off, and what a day it's been for him. A round of 65.
Travis Liebig is brought to you by Golden Tee.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. People are going to go, what the heck, man? You've got a corporate bank guy, and there's so much more to you than that. But let's just talk about the way that your life started. You're a Midwestern guy. We share a lot of the same values. Let's talk a little bit about growing up in Quincy, Illinois.
Sure, yeah. So born and raised in Quincy, Illinois, a couple of hours north of St. Louis, right along the river, an old river town with a lot of history. And I always say I'm proud to be from Quincy, Illinois. I think it gave me a lot of the characteristics of who I am, that community feel, getting to know your neighbor. People there are hardworking, and a lot of attributes. And I'm a transplant to St. Louis. Moved down here to go to school, get back to Quincy, Illinois, still a fair amount, have family back, but I am an adopted St. Louisan, and I'm glad the community has welcomed me with open arms. But so Quincy, that's where I was born and raised, so that's the small Midwestern town, and a lot of good values, I think, came from that. So I'll be happy to talk about that, too.
Yeah, I had Gary Woodland on the show, and he's from Topeka, and he said, that's my home. Yeah. That is my home. Those are my people. And one of the things that, and when Steve Stricker was on a while back, he said, or one of us said, we don't live in the Midwest for the weather. That's for sure. It's really got to be the people.
You bet.
Yeah. Okay. So how about the way you grew up? Let's talk a little bit about some of those values. And I know those carry over here in the bank, but you're a dad. You and Kristen have 2 kids, and so all that stuff is all tied into who you are.
Yeah, for sure. So I will say that while we may not have had the exposure to a lot of things that the big city, provides as far as entertainment and events, but sometimes distractions, in small town America, I would say for my family's perspective, my parents weren't socialites. They were hardworking and family focused, so we spent most of our time with grandparents, aunts, uncles. We lived directly across the street from my Aunt Nancy and Uncle Mike. They kind of helped raise us as kids growing up, and the entertainment that we had was spending time with family members. And as a kid growing up, that's sometimes feels boring, but you grow really close with your family. You're close with your cousins. You're learning from your elders. I'd say I learned a lot from my parents, but as much probably from my grandparents as well. And that bond is something that, is extremely important to Kristen and I as we raise kids. How do we, create the family dynamic that we had growing up? And you don't know how important that is until you realize that not everybody has that. And I think that, the attributes that my parents gave us were work hard, respect your elders, look out for your neighbor, and those kind of basic fundamentals we were raised on. I think I'm still the kid from Quincy that's moved to St. Louis, and some of those community aspects are here in St. Louis as well, but maybe they're fleeting, and maybe community doesn't feel the same. But I think growing up, that was what it was all about. And
no, that's really good. That's really good. And I think so. We'll talk a little bit about your education, because it's you went to you got your undergrad degree at SIU, and then your MBA at SIU as well, and then you went over to Stonier Graduate School. It's got an affiliation with the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. And so you always wanted to be a banker?
No, I didn't. I actually didn't know what I wanted to be. You know, even my senior year of high school, where I was thinking about, do I go to college or do I, get into the workforce? In Quincy, and when I'm 41 years old today, and this was 20 years ago basically, it was pretty common for most of my class just to get into the workforce, or they already were. So it wasn't as if I had a lot of friends and or family that had planned to go to college early. So for me it was no, my parents didn't go to college, so they weren't really able to help guide us in that direction, nor was college seen as the end-all be-all thing. Work hard, focus on your education, and opportunities to come, and that's really the mindset I think my father had. But they wanted us to pursue whatever we felt like we should, but they weren't going to tell us what to do. So as a young kid, that's tough. Yeah. But my thought was, okay, maybe I'll be an electrician. That was really what in my senior year of high school. Maybe I'll get into heating and air. My uncle, runs a heating and air company. But I could only think about the trades or blue collar work, because that's how I was brought up. It was intimidating to even think about college. Well, I did get some scholarships to go to college, so it was almost like there was free money there for me to do it. And since I didn't have my career path or my goals set out of what I want to do next, it was really the next step was go to college, right? So I thought, okay, I'll go and I'll figure it out. Well, that's where it kind of opened my eyes to other opportunities that could be out there. And then the more I was in the business school and economics, then I started to see this career path into business. But it wasn't really banking that was standing out. Banking's not this sexy profession that's out there that people are dying to get into, especially from my generation. I feel like there was either a misunderstanding or maybe even the term banker was seen as a negative thing, because bankers had kind of been seen as the Mr. Potter, if you will, versus the George Bailey and It's a Wonderful Life. So it wasn't until going into my senior year that I was looking for an internship. And at that point in time, my plan was I want to be a stockbroker. I want to work for Ed Jones or A.G. Edwards. I liked that. I was able to at least see myself in that role, helping people make decisions for their hard-earned money. But I really didn't have a path to it. So I was going to the career fairs. This would have been 2002, so there was the dot-com bust, there was 9/11, the brokerage houses weren't hiring, and my resume had two things on it up to that point. That was working at McDonald's and Blockbuster Video. So here I am trying to make it into the white-collar world of financial professionals, and I had nothing on my resume. And thank goodness I met somebody at a career fair that was from a bank, and they were looking for college kids to come in, learn the business, and at this time turn it into something more than maybe what it had been. So I took the internship as a resume builder, no intention of sticking with it. I figured I'd do this for a year, and then after I graduate, I'll go get my job as a stockbroker. And then I realized there was so much more to it.
Right.
Other than having a savings account, I didn't even have a car loan up until that point, so the only time I went to the bank was to make an actual physical deposit. Otherwise, I didn't even know what they did.
Travis, the term community bank it's everywhere.
Right.
And but the differentiator to me is is knowing you and knowing what the vision with the bank is.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what that looks like.
Yeah. So we're a decent sized bank today and growing. I put a group together a little over 2 years ago to buy a bank, and I'm the guy that grew up not really dealing with banks, not really understanding banks, getting to know banking. And the thing that I could see was that there is an opportunity to serve the market here, which is good for business but good for the community in a way that no banks were really doing. And this is not a knock on them, it's just that the ongoing consolidation in banking, which has happened across the country, what it's done is taken away those community partners that used to work with, the small to mid-sized businesses. Now they're rolled up inside of the big bank world. They don't get the same attention. They don't get the same opportunity to work with somebody that can help them navigate their way through the process. And it's intimidating going into a bank, and I don't want it to be intimidating. If somebody has a need or they're working on a project, we want to be seen as a friendly neighbor that can work with them, even if they don't need anything. Our value we provide is helping educate them on the path forward. So I've been determined to maybe help make St. Louis an even better place than what it already is by building a bank that can serve that market need and do the things that we're capable of doing. And the banks that I've worked for over my career were great. I had amazing education, training, knowledge, was able to build up my relationships for the last 20 years. But I always dreamed that if there was a way that we could start a bank and focus on what is most important for things that are going on in our backyard, we could do this so much better. And so I've wanted to do that for a big part of my career. Didn't really know if I ever could, but it was the dream. And like I mentioned before, I've had people that have taken an interest in me for whatever reason. They saw something in me that I didn't see myself. And as I started to talk to them about, hey, would you be up for investing in a community bank, I was shocked by how many people said yes. So a little over 3 years ago, I guess now, the opportunity came up to become part of St. Louis Bank, and then it was evident that it could be a chance to own St. Louis Bank. Well, I'm not a guy that can stroke a check to buy a bank. I mean, let's just put it that way. I'll put my sweat equity in, but I am all in, my life savings, and then some into this, along with some of the people that trusted me the most over my career.
Let's talk a little bit about golf. You and I have done some things together. I know you love the game with 2 young kids, a new business. You don't get to play as much as you'd like, but you do use golf. You do believe in golf in your business and in the community.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I did not play golf until college or out of college, and it became part of the necessity, I think, in the business community, because you have great nonprofit events and things that are out there. Plus, it's a way to interact with clients and prospects and spend time with them. But what I knew about golf growing up was, it was the rich man's sport. That's what I'd always heard. Oh, that's the rich man's sport, and so I really didn't have an opportunity to play it. But when I got out of college and, got into banking full time, I realized, all right, there is something there that I need to, learn more about. And of course, I had some friends that were playing, but it's intimidating when you go out there and you're terrible, right? So I think my goal was to not be terrible, and utilize this in a way where I could be active in the community at some of these fundraisers, and then with associates and the business community. That's something that a lot of business men and women like to do. So where is it that we can get time, or we can get to know each other? And there's, on a golf course, it's been an amazing way to connect with people. And I've, gone golfing with people I didn't know at all. And after a round of golf, felt like I've known these folks for a long time. Personally, business, even how they carry themselves on the course. Are they short? They have a short fuse. Are they maybe a little bit of a cheat?
You can learn a lot about people, and it probably doesn't take a whole lot.
That's right. Yeah. And I think about that because they're probably learning a lot about me. My line is, I'm a better banker than I am a golfer. However, that's not saying much, but
Oh no, you and I are both tall guys, and for someone that's starting, and you're very athletic and played other sports, but golf is just a weird animal, and being so far away from the ball, I can totally relate to some of the struggles, that you have, and we've been able to spend the time on the course. The thing that keeps coming back to me, Travis, with this, and I'm sitting with Travis Liebig. He is the CEO of St. Louis Bank, and this is Golf with Jay Delsing. In September, speaking of unbelievable community people, Ascension has brought the PGA Tour to St. Louis.
Yeah.
After what happened, I know you got to see a little bit of the PGA Championship at Belle Reve. Was, I've said this before, if there's such a thing as a 10-run home run, golf and Tiger and St. Louis and Jim Nance and CBS said everything just went out.
Yeah.
With just a great perspective. And these guys are bringing it to Norwood Hills, and I know you're going to be involved in it. And they're part of the community, and it's neat to see corporate citizens like you support this event. And oh my gosh, I can't wait for this thing.
Yeah, same here. And I was disappointed that it got postponed last year, but in reality, I think that was the right move. I was excited for it to be here. I will say that Ascension what they're doing to stand behind this, and they're showing their true colors, because they could have had that at any course anywhere, and they chose the Norwood Hills Country Club, which is in an area that's a beautiful historic course, but it's not maybe where some of the other courses would be. So they, I think, took a stand, and they've profited with some wonderful nonprofits, and the good works that are coming out of it are phenomenal. And I think they're standing behind that the way that they should. It's an amazing event that we have the honor to host here in St. Louis at the right place that will host it and be able to deliver upon what they need to. But it's putting those dollars to work that are raised in the communities that need it. And honestly, for me, I didn't realize the philanthropic side of golf until we got involved with this one. And I've learned more about what the PGA and the USGA do as a national piece. It really opened my eyes to what's possible there. And of course, St. Louis, they'll show up for this event. They'll make this event great. We do that. And I think that tells you a lot about the character of our town. They love events. They support sporting events, but they're also believers in the community. There's, it's always this amazing thing that, wow, St. Louis really showed so well when we do these things, which we already know we will, but it's great to put it on a national scale like the PGA, where it showed the best sides of us, because unfortunately the sides that typically get shown, or at least have since I've lived in St. Louis, are not the positives. But there's so much positive going on, it just does not get talked about. It's kind of the best kept secret that for whatever reason we don't tell on a broader scale nationally. And the tournament that'll be coming up in September, you'll see a lot of great corporate sponsors that are part of it, people that believe in the community. The momentum behind that thing is tremendous, and I think by it being postponed for a year because of COVID, actually is going to make it even better, and that we have at least a term here where we'll see this coming back again and again. But St. Louisans will come out in droves.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because it'll be nothing like the Champion Tour has ever seen in terms of community involvement, people showing up. It'll be a big deal. Travis, thank you so much for this conversation. Keep doing what you're doing for the community. We all really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And keep doing the things you're doing. Love the show, and anything I can do to help you, just let me know.
Right on.
All right.
All right, that's going to wrap up that interview. Pearl, it's unmistakable how much this guy loves banking and the community, and it's really awesome. I've done some stuff for him. He values the game of golf, and he's using it to grow his business.
I love the community aspect, Jay. It reminded me on two occasions in my life, trying to build my business and also relocating and looking for some funding for a house we wanted to buy. And it was the community bank that made both of those things possible. You could sit down, you could get to know them. It's what they were there for, etc. And again, another one of your guests that just is humble, down to earth, Midwest, right to the core. I really enjoyed listening to your interview with him.
We could have talked banking for several hours, but we had to go. Well, that's going to wrap up.
He could have talked banking for days. I'm not sure if you could have talked banking for hours.
Did I say me? Yeah. I could have tried to listen. But that's going to wrap up the back nine. So don't go anywhere. We've got a Whack and Chase episode on the Michelob Ultra 19th hole. This is Golf with Jay Delsing.
This is Bill DeWitt III, president of the St. Louis Cardinals, and you're talking to Jay Delsing. And wait, sorry, what's the name of the show?
Golf with Jay Delsing.
Oh, okay, let me start it.
After my knee replacement, I was able to swing the golf club pain-free again. SSM Health Physical Therapy guided me through the rehab process, and when I was ready, one of their specially trained KVES certified physical therapists put me on that 3D motion capture system. It is awesome. They evaluated my posture, alignment, and the efficiencies of my golf swing, and it's helped me tremendously. They gave me golf-specific exercises to help my swing and be more efficient and repeatable. Call them at 800-518-1626 or visit them on the web at ssmphysicaltherapy.com. Tell them Jay sent you for a special pricing discount. Your therapy, our passion.
Are you looking for a great career? Do you like meeting nice people, working with your hands, and fixing things inside the home? Marcone Appliance Parts Company would like to encourage you to consider a high-paying career in major appliances repair and service. Major appliance service technicians are in very high demand. Major appliance techs work regular hours and make excellent money. They work local in their own communities and are home every night. It is an incredibly stable industry and highly rewarding work. Discover more about your new career in major appliance services today by contacting a local appliance service company in your hometown. In St. Louis or St. Charles County, contact Brian Probst at AAA Home Services. The phone number is 636-299-3871. Marcone Appliance Parts Company is based in St. Louis, Missouri, and is the largest distributor of major appliance parts in North America and proud distributor of General Electric parts.
I know you've heard me talk about Whitmore Country Club. I want to thank them for supporting the show again for the third year and tell you things are going great for them. There's 90 holes of golf when you join at Whitmore Country Club. The membership provides you access to the Missouri Bluffs, the Links of Dardenne, and the Golf Club of Wentzville. Cart fees are included. There's no food or beverage minimums and no assessments. 24-hour fitness center is fantastic. There's 2 large pool complexes and 3 tennis courts. Stop in the golf shop. You got to see my buddy Bummer. He is an absolute great guy that would love to help you with your game and love to show you around the facility. He and his staff run golf leagues, skins games, members tournaments, couples events. There's live music. There's great dining opportunities out there, outside, inside. Anything you and your family need golf-wise, fun-wise, visit whitmoregolf.com or call them at 636-926-9622.
Professional golf returns to St. Louis in 2021. The Ascension Charity Classic, presented by Emerson. Stars like Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, and more compete at Norwood Hills Country Club, September 6th through the 12th. Tickets, clubhouse passes, hospitality suites, and Pro-Am foursomes are on sale now. All proceeds go to North St. Louis County Charities. Visit AscensionCharityClassic.com or call 314-938-2828. PGA Tour Golf is back in the Lou. The Ascension Charity Classic.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Ed Fogelbach? He proudly serves St. Louis area families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies and provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Fogelbach Agency at 314-398-0101 to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Fogelbach Agency with Farmers Insurance at 314-398-0101.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
I want to tell you about Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. My friend Colin Burnt runs the store over there, and he helped me buy a used Volkswagen for my daughter Jo when she turned 16. We've had the car for over a year. It's running great. It's nice and safe, and we've taken it there to get it serviced just recently. Pearlie, that does the show with me, just bought a nice Toyota truck from Colin. So I want you to know that if there's any sort of vehicle you need, anything at all, you can get it at the Dean Team Volkswagen of Kirkwood. You can call them at 314-966-0303 or visit them at deanteamvwkirkwood.com.
Grab your friends, a cold one, and pull up a chair. We're on to the 19th hole on golf with Jay Delsing.
The 19th hole is brought to you by Michelob Ultra.
Right on. Welcome back. This is Golf with Jay Delsing, and Pearlie is with me, and we're at the 19th hole, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. Pearlie's got one in his hand. I got one in my hand. And let's do this 19th hole thing. Pearl, quickly about Travis. I loved what he said about how he wanted to play more golf.
Yeah, it was rational. He doesn't have much time, but he loves to be out there. He wants to be involved with other folks, enjoying the day, and I just loved his perspective. And I think I'm trying to learn how to have that perspective because it's the way to go, and it's really what the game's about. Just be able to enjoy it and get good enough to where you don't suck.
All right, cool, Pearl. Hey, it is time for another episode of Whack and Chase.
Love it.
When it comes to your golf game, do you need help from the experts? So do we. We're still looking for those experts. But until then, John and Jay will have to do. It's time for Whack and Chase on Golf with Jay Delsing.
Jay, John, I knew today's show was going to be fantastic. It's because we have another Brad on the show. Brad is here for Whack and Chase.
Wait a second. There's not enough
Brad.
There's plenty of room.
No, there's not enough room.
The Brads are taking over.
By any chance, so which Brad that's calling in, what's your nickname? Because Brad here's nicknames meet. What's your nickname?
Huck.
All right, Huck. Okay,
Huck,
perfect.
I love that. We're going with Huck for the rest of the show. Is that all right? We're going with Huck. Love
it's
it.
Hop, H-O-P, Hop.
Oh, Hop. That's even better.
That's even better.
Okay, well, we're going to ask at the end of the show, at the end of this, well, maybe at the beginning, who knows what is going to happen. We got to get the origin of that nickname. That's a wonderful nickname. So, Jay,
all right, Hop, what is the question you're going to ask us tonight? My buddy's getting a little tongue-tied over here.
So I'm going to ask you about a short chip shot. If I'm just a couple of feet off the green, I got a fairly consistent bump and run. But if I'm a little bit farther out or in a little bit longer grass near the green, I don't really have kind of a lofted, soft landing shot, and I seem to blade it across the green or.
Okay, Hop. So one thing that's going to happen in this conversation is two things going to be discussed. One, Jay's going to talk about his brother's chipping, if you could even call it that, whole mindset. And then Jay's also going to explain the chip he hit on the second hole in Vegas, the Vegas Pro-Am at Vegas, and he's signaling me right now that that's probably a bad idea, but we're going with it anyway. And he's gonna signal that chipping that was early in his career before he awakened to the value of a short game. So I think that's an absolutely awesome question, and a lot of people can relate to this.
Brad, have you ever done radio? So Brad, I love the question too. First of all, the short game is mostly my favorite part to work on. I really
that's
appreciate
killing me. Meat and Hop. If you knew the history for him to say that, you talking about awakening, personal growth. There's not enough books to explain what this guy that traveled, the distance this guy's traveled.
Hey, Hop, my dad used to say, "Son, your short game's like," and I can't use a real word substitute. It's like. Penthouse or castle. And I'm like, so what are you trying to say, Dad? Anyway, so I would have these game changer shots, or I would have these flubs,
or these game changer shots.
Or the other, you see, they would change the game one way or the other. They were either really good or really bad. So what I wound up having to do is blow the whole thing up and start over. But one of the things that John was talking about, I had early in my career, John was caddying for me in Las Vegas, I had a third shot on a par 5. The easiest shot you could have was probably a total of 40 yards. I probably had 10 yards of carry over a bunker. I probably had 20 yards of green that was flat and gently rolling uphill and slow, and the rest of it was easy. That was the hard part. Hop, I laid the face of my wedge wide open, swung underneath this club, and buried my ball under the lip of the bunker and made double bogey.
And I was looking so hard for anybody else to carry that bag because it was a non-cut event, so that meant 4 more days of carrying, and we were just, you talking about dead in the water, the doldrums, as sailors might call it. We were in the doldrums in the middle of the desert.
Right. So what I'm going to tell you about that short shot from just off the green. So let's say
wait a second. You're getting ahead of the game.
Oh yeah, I am.
What has Hop done? Hop, what have you done to this point to try to experiment with that soft shot off the green? Give us a little of any lessons, special clubs. What have you tried?
Okay, so I'm usually doing this with a 60-degree wedge. And it seems like lately, if I do a lot of practice swing ahead of time and I really think about not hitting the ball and just kind of swinging through, I get a little bit better result. But I don't know if it's where I put it in my stance or if I've got my weight a little bit in the wrong spot. Sometimes I flub it and sometimes I blade it. And it's very rare to catch it just
Wait a second. We needed some definition help there. Flub and blade.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
You don't need any definition.
What is it?
I have both of those.
What is it?
Flub is a little fat and blade is a little skinny. Hey, Hop, what kind of grass? Are you talking about longish grass or are you just talking about...
You talking about green grass?
Yeah. You talking about what kind of grass? Not the kind you could smoke, right, Hop?
Well, yeah. The truth of the matter is it works out best if I'm in a little bit taller grass where I got
I thought he was going to say it works out a little bit better if he's smoking. Okay.
Right. So it works out a little better if you've got a little bit of grass that you can easier for you to get underneath the ball, right?
Sure. Yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now here's So have you tried anything, Hop? Have you tried to move the ball in your stance? Have you tried to change your hand position as it relates to the ball? Anything like that?
So I've tried all of that, and I haven't been able to glean any.
Hey, Hop, let me ask you a question. Have you tried any?
I've been thinking about taking up a different sport.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Hop! I got to tell you, my brother putts from 60 yards and in.
Okay.
And he called up on the Whack and Chase and said my brother's name is Bart, and he lives in Florida, and he said his name was Marty from Florida, and he said, I need help with my putts from 60 yards and in. Oh my gosh, it's too funny.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. What kind of a game have you got? Give Jay a little perspective. Are you single digit? Are you a high handicapper? Give us a little feedback on you.
Oh no, I'm a pretty high handicapper. I started playing golf about 6 years ago, but about probably 3 years ago I got serious about it and decided I want to get better. This year my goal is to get under 90,
nice.
But I didn't quite make it. My handicap's 19.7.
Well, guess what? 2021, you are going to get under 90, and Jay's going to start talking to you right now about how that's going to happen unless I interrupt him.
Okay, which could happen. So, Hop, one of the biggest things is we've got to get the ball in your hand ratio correct. Okay, and so if you're going to go in there on a tight lie with your 60 and try to hit this high soft shot, you got your hands full if all these things aren't matched up. Okay, so you said you had a nice bump and run game, but for whatever reason, this is a shot that calls for something that's going to land high and soft, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so we got to make a little longer swing. We have to keep our wrists extremely soft, and we have to move right through that ball with that club head like the ball's not even there, and we have to finish to a distinctive point on your left. We want the club to move through this area and not even worry about the ball, because these clubs these days are designed beautifully to perform this. But my sense is you're hitting at the ball, you're trying to help it in the air, and you're changing the face angle that's got you all screwed up, so you're going to hit some fat and some thin.
So, Jay, he's hitting the bump and run, and he's fairly comfortable with it. So what's the difference? Talk about shallow versus steep.
Right, so the bump and run is going to be a more abbreviated swing. It's going to be a little shorter back, a little shorter through. What we need to do is, and that's going to be a little steeper, what we need to do is stay a little shallow, Hop. We need a longer...
More putter feel.
Yeah, more like your putter, and we need to keep your knees and your hips level as you move through, Hop. As soon as you start changing those levels, the club face angle will change. You keep your knees and your hips level and move right through that hitting area. Don't worry about the ball. This ball will get hit. You're going to find success.
So, Jay, talk about a tour player that struggled with... Not you, not including you. Talk about a tour player.
Oh boy.
Talk about a tour player that struggled with this. A guy that could hit bump and runs, do those things, but has really struggled with that.
Hal Sutton.
Okay, talk about him.
Hal Sutton comes to mind.
World beater, great player.
We watched him win the PGA Championship our senior year in college out at Riviera.
And TPC beating Tiger.
Absolutely.
He was one of the first guys to take Tiger down.
Absolutely, and one of the reasons he did well is because he could play a lot of bump and runs, especially around the TPC. But you've never seen Hal do that well when he's got to hit these high soft shots. He just really, really struggled with that. And what's odd is that typically that's the sign of someone that doesn't putt particularly well. Hal putted the eyes out of
But
the thing.
he had a pretty steep approach on his ball striking.
There's no
so
question.
He couldn't make that transition that you're asking Hop to make, which is more of a shallow attack to have a softer hit.
And Hop, this is about keeping your hands and wrists nice and soft, and this is about keeping your knees and your hips level and moving right on through there. And as you turn through, that club turns through there with you, and this is a great drill. Stick the butt end of your 60-degree wedge into your belly button or belt area and turn your hips and your knees and everything together. The Hop, on your full swing, we want you clearing your left fast, and we want that club coming in fast. On your short game, we want it all coming in together very slowly through that hitting area, and you'll be chipping in. Before you know it, you'll be taking some Burke money, I bet.
Maybe.
So
we need two things. Before you conclude, we got to get one quick feedback from Hop. And where did Hop come from?
Well, it's not as interesting as it might sound. It's really just kind of
make
a short
something up,
version
Hop.
of
Make something up. This has gone well. Don't screw up the end of this deal.
That's terrific, Hop. That's terrific. Well, you know how we end our whack and chases. If we helped you, you got to tell everyone you know. I mean, you got to call ESPN. You got to write us letters and tell us how great we are. And if you keep sculling that thing and flubbing that thing, you tell them we never met, Hop.
Exactly.
Fantastic, buddy. Thanks so much for the call.
Hop. Good luck with the game.
Thanks, guys.
Pearl, I can tell you're jumping off the chair there. What'd you think of that whack and chase?
Oh, I just, when a guy's talking about that shot just off the green, so many faces pop into my mind. Your brother is one. A guy we used to play with at the Boulders down in the desert forever. Really wonderful player. He would get 4 or 5 steps off the green and start going into a cold sweat, knowing it was going to go sideways. 260-yard drives right down the middle, right in front of the green, and knew he was going to make 8. It's just he couldn't move the ball in the direction of the hole from that point on.
Yeah, it's you got to love this game, man. It's man, that's why we have Michelob Ultra involved in the whack and chase segments on the 19th hole. It's perfect.
I thought you were going to say that's why Michelob Ultra is involved in golf, and the key there is to try a little bit of it before you have to hit those short, chippy, pitchy shots.
Yes, that's right. Well, John, that's going to wrap up another show. Thanks so much for being with us. Meat, thanks for pushing the dials and keeping us on track here. And we will see you next week. This is Golf with Jay Delsing. Hit 'em straight, St. Louis.
For more than 85 years, Logan University has turned graduates into leaders through a rigorous curriculum and real-world applications, offering in-demand degrees like nutrition, dietetics, sports science, athletic training, and more. Logan is St. Louis's home for award-winning, hands-on healthcare education. If you're looking to advance your career with a graduate degree in health sciences, look to Logan University. Start your journey at logan.edu. Nationally ranked, globally respected. Logan University. Leaders made. Are you looking for a hands-on education? Are you driven by careers that make a difference? As a nationally ranked health sciences university, Logan offers graduate degrees in in-demand fields like nutrition, sports science, athletic training, health informatics, and health professions education. Combine online convenience with hands-on experience and put your skills into practice sooner. Go all in on a career you'll love. Visit logan.edu. Nationally ranked, globally respected. Logan University. Leaders made.